Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So a few days ago, I had started to convert the motion matching assets over to something that was more centric to basketball. And that required me to do like these really tedious steps that are really error prone. So today in this video, I want to show you guys why you should spend a couple of days to build out tools to automate things that you have to do by hand. So just to show off this not so good animation, but just to show where I'm at. So this is the run loop backwards animation, and I just added like this generic dribbling motion. Somebody was suggesting to do this procedurally, but it just doesn't come out the same when you try to do it procedurally. So I hand keyed this animation and added it to this existing animation. In order to do that, I have to add an animation track, choose the animation that I want, bake that animation down to a control rig. I then have to remove the root motion so that I can animate in place. Then this just adds a layer that overrides the root motion. I can't. So if I turn this off, you can see I still have the root motion there. But if I activate it, it disables the root motion essentially. And then I add another layer where I extract all of these controls. So anything in this upper body that you see from the hip up, any control that's here, I want to have control over how that will move and how it will flow along with the dribble rhythm. So I extract that to a new layer. And then I copy this dribble loop that I have right here. It's just a generic dribble loop, just that same dribble loop. I copy the keys here to that layer that I was on here. And I finally get this. So let's just go through this struggle together to show you how long this takes. So I have an empty thing here, no control rig, anything like that. So first step is to add the animation. I'll add that. So this is just a stop that just stops like that, and then it goes to an idle. So we can see right here that this animation is 100 frames. I know that the template animation that I'm copying over to every other one of these animations is 25 frames. Luckily, this is a divisor of 25, so I could keep it that way. But if it wasn't, I'd have to control click this little bar right here and drag this to a time frame that was +1, a divisor of 25. So in this case, that'd be 76 if I wanted to get a 75 frame animation loop. This just speeds up the animation so that it fits all the keys within this time frame. The next thing I would do is right click and bake this to my custom control rig, and I don't even change these values. I just hit create, and then boom, it bakes based on the size of this in frame. So imagine if I was at the 100 that this was originally on, I would have to drag this in frame to the 100 and just to get it to bake out all the animation. So that's all manual stuff that you have to do. The next thing to do is to remove the root motion. So we click on these two controls, and so we'd add a new layer, and then this will be our root motion layer, and this would be set to override so that now we don't do any movement here. So we have that now. And then the next step is probably the most tedious part. Luckily, I have the 3P anim tools where I can make quick selections in groups like so. And I want to select all the upper body controls. And if you didn't have 3P anim tools, which I suggest you get, it's free. You have to go in and you have to select all these controls by hand. And then the next step would be to go to the layers, add a new layer, and this will be our dribble rhythm. And this is an override layer because we want to override the data that's there, but we also want the existing data. So that means we need to go and we need to lock these two layers so that we don't mess up. You go to this base layer and solo the selected track so we can just copy the keys of the selected track. Unlock this layer, go back to it, and then select from this layer so that we can solo that layer and make sure that we don't make a mistake here. We'll lock the base layer and I'll paste this into this layer. So now we have this layer, which is playing the upper body animation to show that this is actually overriding. We'll do our next step, which is to copy the data from the template animation over to that animation. And what animation was that? That was a struggle demo. So what we want to do is we want to select the controls that we want to paste this data to, which is the right arm. So I come over here to my 3P tools, just refresh it, grab the right arm, and then I'd come to this dribble rhythm layer, solo those controls, delete all these keys, and we go in and we paste those keys. So now we have this dribble motion on this back stop animation. So that is the full step-by-step way to do this. If you wanted to do this by hand, by yourself, this is our struggle, just to show you how long that took. Look at the timestamp. I was explaining it, so it's a little longer than usual, but it's definitely longer than the automated version. So I'm gonna close that down. And the first thing we want to do is bake this animation to a control rig. So I have this function. I'll just cancel this. I have this function in this widget here to bake the animation to a control rig. And we can do this for multiple animations at once. So I could take all of these animations and bake them. I won't do that for the demo now. I'll just do 3 because I have these 3 default tests set up for this demo. So I'm gonna drag these target sequences in. This is where I want to copy the data to. We want to set our control rig to this rig, and then we want to start with this back left stop animation. And you see here, when I enter this animation, it shows me how many frames it is total. I know that I want this to be a divisor of 25, so I'll set that to 100. We'll add another entry here. And this is as much work as it takes to do this. Add our control rig, and this is 118 frames. I'm gonna just make that 125, so it's a divisor of 25. And then we'll add one more because we have one more test sequence that we can mess with. And we'll do this other guy here. That's 115. I'll set that to 125 and then add my control rig, and we'll just hit accept there. And it goes through and it does all that work for you. It leaves the last one in the entries open. And you can see here, that last one, we set it to 125. You can see we have 125, and this is perfectly scaled to the play rate. All that stuff is happening behind the scenes automatically. The next step is to extract the root motion. We can do that with this open or with it closed. It doesn't matter. So I'll just call this root motion. And then I'll just add my level sequences to this. Let's do test 1, test 2, we'll do test 3. And if I accept that, all of these animations will now have a new layer added that removes the root motion. You can see that here. We don't have the root motion. If we turn this off, we have the root motion now. So that gets automated as well. So now I want to extract that upper body animation out to a new layer so that I could edit it to my liking and do whatever I want to that. So do it here. We're going to call this dribble rhythm. Actually, we're going to call this upper body because we're going to do another layer for the dribble rhythm. And you can see it keeps the last data in here. So we want to do these same ones here. We want to choose this control rig. And this does a little bit different thing. It pops up like this picker, so you can select which controls you want to extract the data from. So if you alt click a control, it'll select that entire group. And so I want the right arm, left arm. I want the head. I want the spine. I'm gonna go ahead and get all the fingers as well. So we'll accept that. And now we'll extract that animation up into a layer. So now we have the same data that exists in the base layer in its own layer, so that we get the motion trails, we get all the keys, and we can tweak the time into our liking to fit what we want. And finally, the last thing we would do is copy the keys from a level sequence. This will essentially do the thing where I had to copy the data from one animation to another. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is our dribble rhythm. The source animation is the animation that we want to copy the data from. That is this dribble right here. So I'll pass that in there. And then our targets, which I want to set to the test animations. Test 1, test 2, and test 3. And we got our control rig set. And you see we have our last selection here. Technically, I don't want this selection. We only want to copy this into the right arm. So I'm going to just deselect all of these, keep the right arm selected, deselect all of the fingers here. And so we got our right arm selected only. And I'm going to go ahead and accept that. Now all these animations have this dribble motion with it now. You of course you want to clean this up, but all that is just one button clicks, dragging over the data, and then just keeping things somewhat simple for us. I don't know how we have this many animation layer windows open, but okay, that's a bug. We open up a new animation layer every time. But yeah, that is essentially how this tool is going to save me time in the future. And like I said, I will be sharing this when 5.6 releases because of course I want to test it with the new animation tools. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.